Hello and welcome to the Investing Bros. Man, we are seeing some crazy price action on the charts. I will tell you what, but you are tuned in to the first live crypto news show on the trading day. I'm live weekdays from 9 a.m. to 9:30 every single weekday. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin charts here. We've got them pulled up. Really zoomed out here on the weekly charts just to show you guys kind of the proximity to the Bollinger Band that Bitcoin is currently rocking out at. You can see it's had a little bit of a pullback here from that Bollinger Band that it's been tightly connected to, but it's making a surge higher. And yesterday, we literally got into one of the new highs here for the year. It's very, very exciting stuff. You can see we got a candle body close here, a big, fat candle body. Absolutely extremely exciting. I know I am. About at 46,991 here on the Coinbase exchange at least. But we wicked all the way up to 47,000. You heard it correct. 47,300 here for Bitcoin. That was yesterday. And today we are seeing a bit of a retrace. We got a wick all the way back down to 45.5. But that has retraced itself, right? It's almost like the daily charts are not enough because we are seeing so much volatility. Zooming back down to the 1 hour, you can see how this retrace took place. It wasn't all at once, okay? It was over time, kind of trickled back down, slicing through the midline of that Bollinger Band before bouncing off the bottom and making a move higher, slicing back through to the upside of the Bollinger Band. Taking a look at the MACD again, I'm on the 1 hour, not always on the 1 hour, but I'm on the 1 hour today. Down on the 1 hour, you can see the red histograms had a nice time to reset. They were accelerating, right, in this retracement down from 47,000 back down to 45.5 and have now cooled off and are decelerating. And we're also getting a curling of the MACD lines, an early indicator perhaps of a move higher. But generally, why are we seeing this? Well, because it's bullish, right? There's nothing but bullish news right now about Bitcoin. The only real bearish news is this potential for a sell the news sentiment for tomorrow's extremely explosive announcement. So it's very exciting, and there's a lot of volatility, and it's to be expected. Hopefully, if you are an experienced trader, you're making all kinds of money out there in this volatility. If you are a noob, or you consider yourself to just be an investor or even an enthusiast in crypto, then this is an awesome time to be in as well, because we are seeing history being made before our eyes in the digital currency space. I'm really, really excited, and I'm thrilled that you would take your time to tune in. I am T. Shroom, and it would mean a lot if you'd go ahead and like this video, and before the end of it, maybe you even consider subscribing if you're tuning in for the first time. Well, I'm going to check, first and foremost, the most important news that's out there, because you're seeing all kinds of lies, all kinds of jokes, and all kinds of memes out there on the interwebs about whether or not these spot Bitcoin ETFs have passed, will pass, or are going to be denied. But the really only website that matters, and I tell you guys this every morning at 9 a.m. and every afternoon at 3 p.m. when I go live, that the SEC.gov website is the one that you have to follow here. And we haven't gotten that update yet. So this is the press release website for the SEC. When there's an approval, it will be here. And if you hear it from anywhere else, take it with a grain of salt. Obviously there are some other reputable sources that will very quickly be letting you know that this is going on. But ultimately, that is the website that you want to go back to and verify that. And again, that is sec.gov. Just the letters SEC, Securities Exchange Commission.gov. And you will find the press release section under the news tab. There you go. Well, we've got some folks in chat, and they're absolutely loving it. Let's see what we got. Juan Wilson. Juan Wilson said, "Morning, T-Shroom and bros." Absolutely. Let's see. The first chat we had was actually Big Piper saying, "Good morning, bros." So that's pretty awesome. And Nancy Croy, not too far behind, saying, "Good morning, Piper." So there you go. A little back and forth, already having fun. If you don't already follow me on Twitter, I am on Twitter at TShroom, but it's called X. It is called X now, but people still call it Twitter from time to time. They get it wrong, just like I did. But hey, we're all having fun. We got an update here from Eric Bulkanis. We'll go ahead and check that out now, saying that the GBTC traded close to $500 million today, which is more than 99% of the 3,000 current ETFs. And reminder that they are bringing a volume gun to a knife fight if they launch with everyone else. That said, the 1.5 fee will act as a repellent, another fascinating subplot. Fascinating indeed. As we noted yesterday, a lot of the fee rates are below 1%. And even below 0.5% there for those spot Bitcoin ETF applications. Grayscale has been enjoying an absolute bath in the profits here with that 1.5% fee obviously that's on their futures ETF. So it's actually not a futures, it's a spot, but it's a trust, not an ETF. So important distinction there. Well, there you go. There you have it. It's very, very bullish. Again, bullish news. And there is what was a bearish indicator has now flipped and become a bullish indicator. Let's take a look.
Digital.
What are we doing with these? You know, let's stop fooling around. If you want Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's topping out, by the way. So I'm going to say enough is enough, and ka-ching is ka-ching. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the conclusion of the lightning round.
Digital.
Oh, man, you got to love it. So in a request to look at Marathon Digital, JIM Cramer jumps into bear mode, which, of course, if you know anything about crypto, if you've been in it any amount of time, even stocks, there's a thing called an inverse Cramer, right, indicator. And that's this man here who for some reason still has a spot on CNBC's Mad Money show. And basically whatever he says, people are profitable by fading his picks. Now, of course, it's not exactly that cut and dry. But when it comes to Bitcoin, he almost perfectly predicted the cutback in Bitcoin's price. Here, I'll show you guys. This one right here. This was perfectly predicted by Cramer. So when he said that Bitcoin is favorable, I can't remember his exact quote. You know, the next day Bitcoin saw a 10% shed, right, from candlestick top to trough. So it's very, very interesting. And now, you know, we're looking where we are. We get a bullish indicator from Cramer because he said that it's reaching its topped out phase. Okay, so if you're reading between the line here, price go up, Bitcoin very bullish, of course, not financial advice, and there's a good bit of fun being had here for sure. But you gotta admit that JIM Cramer has actually been pretty accurate. In a sense that he's been 100% inaccurate. So he's reliable, is what you could say. He's not accurate, he's reliable, and you just have to do a little bit of thought work in order to make sure that you're profitable in the trades. Well, speaking of being profitable in trades, guys, we've got a crazy wallet movement. Massive smart whale with profitable track record withdraws $67 million, and it doesn't even stop there. There's another 900,000 hiding in there worth of Bitcoin from Binance. It's a pretty big deal. Take a look at all these transactions, guys. From the 6th through the 9th, $76 million has been transferred. So it's not a small amount of money, as you can see, and it is absolutely bullish, right? Because when money is taken off of an exchange, the intent is that it's stored in a cold wallet, right? So there's absolutely nothing to extrapolate here except for that this is bullish. And look at that bull doing a victory lap there. That whale, excuse me. It looks like a bull because all I'm seeing is bullish indicators. We're going to take a look at a couple more here before the show's over. We're going to take a look at a couple more bullish indicators for sure. But moving on to the next story here, we've got another bullish story. It's another reason to be excited here this Tuesday morning. Kind of the calm before the storm. I know I'm not very calm, but a calm before the storm of what kind of chaos is going to ensue. Will it be sell the news? Will it be buy the news? Well, Pantera Capital is set to buy 200 million Bitcoin through the Bitwise ETF. So you're starting to see some institutions coming out and saying that they're going to go ahead and purchase these ETFs, right? And that's something that we haven't seen a lot of, right? It's something that we're probably going to be seeing a little bit more of probably after the ETFs have been approved, but Pantera Capital getting ahead of the fun, going ahead and showing up early to this awesome party that we see as the approval of these ETFs and getting in high fashion with $200 million worth of Bitcoin as a pledge to buy. Now, whether or not they buy it all at the same time or when they buy it is not detailed in this tweet right here from Bitcoin Archive, but this, of course, is a bullish indicator, and it will be one of the main contributors to the bullishness of the day. So we like it. We love it a lot. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of a breather here, kick it over to chat and see what's going on. Curtis Rorick, and I'm seeing French Toaster and JT all in here celebrating what is going on here in the Bitcoin markets. JT said, thinking about Naples, can't find any normies to go with. Yeah, it's tough. So you're thinking about, so JT is referring to this event here. Tim and I have been promoting kind of an Investing Bros meetup over here at Bitcoin Day. JT is referring to that and saying that he can't find anybody to go with. You need a travel buddy sometimes, but sometimes you just got to go it alone. If you want to come meet up with us down there in Naples, just go ahead and pull the trigger, get the tickets, and we will see you down there. If not, I understand, because sometimes it can be a little more fun to travel with a buddy. But JT, thank you so much for leaving that chat for us to kind of remind the good folks that there is an event coming up in January 20th. So if you want to act now, you got to get there quick. BitcoinDay.io. Wasn't planning on promoting it today, but there you go. That's going to be a lot of fun. Eric Wallen said, Piper's up early, hyped on that fancy coffee. That's right. Piper's got all kinds of interesting brews over there in El Paso, Texas, where he's got his new studio set up. Guys, if you have not seen the new studio, you've got to tune into Piper Academy. It comes on right after the end of this stream at 9:30, and you will not be disappointed. That new studio is really, really cool, and they have a ton of fun over there. Gonzo Lag said, good morning, bros. It's shroom time. And that's absolutely right. It is shroom time. I am T Shroom. We are all having fun. Good morning, T Shroom. Did you give up on H-Bar? I did. I sold my H-Bar. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad project. I just think it's a little bit of a snooze fest in the times where we have a lot of new cryptos coming out. We're going to be seeing a lot more coming out, but I think it's a solid project. I just went ahead and dumped it to buy some other alts. Some other smaller cap gems needed the liquidity, if you feel me. I'm sure some of those people in the chat can relate to that for sure. Josh Denham said, good morning. Love to see it. It is a good morning for sure. Let's take a look at some charts really quick. I want to take a look at the Ethereum chart because there's been an interesting movement there relative to my trading yesterday. So I entered here at 2,334 and then set my stop loss just above that. Right. Well, as you can see, and so I made a little bit of profit, but it was negligible. Probably like just a handful of bucks. But ultimately, you can see that my entry point on Ethereum has served now as the rejection for the candle body closes on the daily. So it's really, really funny. Doing a little analysis here, you can see Ethereum, making some pretty big candle bodies, but really it's trying to decide whether it wants to go ahead and print a candle body above this regression line. If you were to draw a regression line here from December 10th, haven't really made a decision one way or the other. Once we get a full candle body close, as we did here back in the 1st of January, then we see a movement to a much bigger bullish movement to the upside. Saw it here again. We got the candle body close. You saw a much bigger movement as well. But ultimately, that's not all that's going on in the Ethereum charts, obviously. But it is but Ethereum on the daily is definitely playing with this midline of the Bollinger Band, which does happen to coincide pretty closely with the midline of the regression tool that I've got drawn out there, again, from December 10th. Looking at the MACD, it's not telling us too much other than the fact that, just continued essentially bearish momentum, which kind of sucks. But you do have a little bit of the red histograms decelerating quite swiftly there. I mean, we had a pretty big good pop on this candle body here. This was almost 5%. So nothing to shake a stick at all. But yeah, so. Oh, man. Did I just sneeze? Or did I say a magical ticker that's going to 500x in the next bull market? You'll never know. It was a sneeze. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the Ichimoku because that's been something I've been taking a look at here for Ethereum as well. On the daily chart, you are getting a little bit of a tick up. That's pretty bullish as it's wanting to resist going down to that zero line and potentially cross over. So that's pretty bullish. That is going to be, one of the indicators that keeps, price above 2,100. The indicator doesn't do it, right? But that's going to indicate whether or not we're going to make a move and see a candle body close below 21 2100.76. Right, so that'll be something to watch for sure. If price does get back down here in this zone, 2,200, this is probably a pretty good entry, keeping a tight stop loss somewhere around here so that you don't get wrecked if price does get down below on Ethereum. But I think this is a pretty good reload zone here. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to get down that low because the bulls, it is such a bullish day, the bulls do seem to be out in number. So that's my quick and dirty analysis there on Ethereum. Let's take a look at another name that I'm pretty bullish on, which is Caspa. Caspa has been in a world of its own, really, but it's been kind of consolidating here after this move up to test this box I've got drawn that really starts at 12 cents, 12 cents 5. It's really had a rejection off of that. Barely even, it wicked into it pretty nicely and touched the upper band of that Bollinger on the daily. But really, it played a little bit of a bounce on the midline of the Bollinger Band, but ultimately sliced through. Didn't print a candle body south of 10 cents, which is nice. Even the whole time, really. So hasn't seen a candle body south of 10 cents since the 15th of November. So that's pretty bullish. That's also similar to Bitcoin, and just as we saw, also similar to Ethereum, where you get tests lower through a wick on the daily, but you don't get a candle body close. That's bullish, in my opinion, above 10 cents at least. So a good time to accumulate Caspa. I don't know if we'll get another chance, but probably somewhere around in here would be a good time if Caspa's price does get back down. Wouldn't be a bad time to accumulate, right, for investing. As a trade, also probably not a bad time to get an entry. However, you'll want to keep a nice tight stop loss under that, because if we do get below 10 cents and we get a candle body close, that's going to be very bearish. Traders and investors may run for the hills on this name. The Ichimoku telling a pretty bearish story, although we are getting a move outside of that on Caspa here on the daily charts. So I'd say definitely keep an eye on this. I'd be more hesitant to enter, a new trade on this because of that kind of bearish control that can be interpreted there by the Ichimoku. It just kind of means that there's not a lot of buying pressure right here, and that is obviously reflected in price. We spent a lot of time back here in November and early December. We spent a lot of time north of 12 cents 5. Haven't really seen that at all. We haven't seen a candle body close in there since the 15th of December. We saw a wick through it and then a very slight wick through it kind of in late December there. But since then, we've traded below that 12 cents 5 zone and seen consolidation. Now, overall, the kind of zooming out, I'm very, very, very bullish on Caspa for fundamental reasons that I've discussed in other videos. Ultimately, their founder is very well cited in white papers and by other leaders such as Charles Hoskinson and Vitalik Buterin and others. And then their project was a fair launch, and it's proof of work, which could be a growing bullish narrative in 2024. And also the name Caspa has just been so well circulated, and a lot of interested influencers and investors have gotten some exposure to the coin. Whether or not it's going to be the new, cryptocurrency of the future, I don't know. But I think a lot of folks are betting that it's going to be, and it could be a self-fulfilling prophecy at least long enough to let us get some profits to the upside. I plan on holding Caspa probably through early 2025, if not all the way through 2025 to the end of the crypto bull market. It comes to an end, T-Shroom? It does, and that's something we'll be talking about. Right now, it's not really worth talking about because we're very far from it. We're at the very beginning of the bull market, but it's something to keep in mind that you should probably be taking profits at some time. And fall of 2025 is a time that a lot of folks have honed in to do just that. Lewis B asking a question here: 22K in HBAR coin versus 1 ETH versus 22 Caspa. If you're talking about just growth potential in general, I would go with the Caspa. Yep. If you're looking for a long-term hodl, I'd probably go ETH. And if you're looking for HBAR, I would go HBAR. If you're really strong into the ISO 22,000 coins or whatever it's called, you might want to go look into HBAR. But ultimately, I think that narrative has kind of been played out that may see a resurgence. If you know what I'm talking about, the ISO 22200 narrative, I think is what it's called, where a lot of coins such as Quant, XRP, HBAR, XLM, EDX, or EDC, one of those, XDC, that they're compliant with like this SWIFT standard for international banking, and that could very well be, a lot. It's curried a lot of investment. It's gathered a lot of interest by investors. That narrative has, but ultimately, I think that's kind of been shown to be, maybe it's a longer term play, or at worst, it's kind of played out. The Dusty Hunt said, "I believe they will only approve 3 or 4 and delay the rest. There has to be an unknown, and that's my unknown." Very, very interesting. So a lot of folks still trying to find a contrary, standing to try and trade. But ultimately, my bet is that we just get a blanket approval. There may be a couple that aren't approved, right? But from my understanding, they've all complied with the language changes from the SEC. So the SEC says, "Hey, we don't like this this section of your application, could you please change it?" They go right back, say, "Yes, sir." They go back, change it, come back, say, "Here, here's the application." And the SEC says, "Cool." Oh, and then 3 days later, "Hey, we want this changed." And apparently they're doing that as, like yesterday. So they're still up until the finish line, up until the deadline, asking these issuers to make slight adjustments. And that's par for the course in Wall Street, from what I understand, is there's a lot of adjustments. What isn't par for the course, and I don't have a story pulled up on this, but I was reading about it this morning. What isn't par for the course is a 24-hour turnaround on these application amendments. So the SEC saying, "Hey, we want this changed," and then I think it was Invesco, I can't remember which one it was, but Invesco in 24 hours going through a full vet with their legal team, changing the language and then resubmitting. Apparently that is not done. So that's quite an exception here for the Bitcoin spot ETF saga that we find ourselves right in the middle of, right in the climax of, guys. We are literally sitting in an extremely significant moment of history. This is why I'm in crypto, guys. This is the most exciting part to me, is that we have a front row seat. A lot of folks probably would be excited about this, but they just don't understand. They haven't been following the story here, right? So it's really an exciting time to be in crypto, and that's probably 80% of the reason why. Because of the other 20% is to be with you guys and have an awesome community to experience it with. Let's see. King D's got something to say here. King D said, "I'm the only one who does deepfakes ads with the CEO of crypto company coming." No, you're not the only one who gets those deepfakes. I've been getting a ton of them, guys. Be very, 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 very careful. If you're seeing any CEOs in a video telling you something, just for the most part, CEOs of crypto projects, like I think I've seen a lot of Solana and a lot of XRP. Just be super careful. Something to keep in mind in general is that if an airdrop is coming to you, if an airdrop opportunity is coming your way, that's probably a scam. If you're going and having to search when an airdrop is happening and finding a legit website that has those scheduled out, that's different, right? I don't do a lot of airdrops because a lot of people get wrecked during airdrops. They expose their wallets to scams, essentially, and that is bad. You'll get rugged. You can potentially get your whole wallet drained from that. So let's wrap out. I wanted to show you guys here. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a golden nugget, right? Toward the end of the video here. I'm kind of excited to show you guys this because this is kind of a new thing for Investing Bros. I show you the stock to flow model on what's called lookintobitcoin.com, but we've actually got a new partnership with lookintobitcoin.com where you can actually support the channel by clicking the link in the description of this video. It is right here. It's the Bitcoin Onchain investment data tool. And as we move into the bull market, these tools are going to be significant and they're going to be helpful for you in your trading and investing strategy. So go ahead and check them out today. You can find that link in the description. But let me show you some of the cool aspects of these charts that you can only really get on Look Into Bitcoin. This is the net unrealized profit and loss, the new pull chart here. And as you can see, as of today, we have ticked into this darker orange area, right? And that represents the belief and denial zone, right? So we're still outside, and you want to disregard the black, well, not disregard it, but the black line is not the indicator. The black line is just a price overlay of Bitcoin. Okay, the blue line is the indicator line, right? And that line has been in since March. That line has been in optimism and anxiety, right? But we got as low. We've seen a full cycle of getting as low as just capitulation. There's not even another pairing. There's not a pairing for that one. It's just capitulation. It's just selling. And then hope and fear. We've also, we didn't spend that much time in that section. And as you can see, price usually jets through that hope and fear section and just goes straight to optimism and anxiety depending on where you are in the cycle. But ultimately, what's important today is that we are starting to go ahead and dip into the belief and denial phase, right? And that's significant because it could go either way, right? But more than likely, what is everybody doing today? Everybody today is believing, right? They're holding close to their Bitcoin. And they're believing because there is a chance that these ETFs could get rejected tomorrow. There's a chance. It's not 0% chance. So there is some belief involved in continuing to hold these assets that absolutely will tank if it's denied tomorrow. Make no mistake. So tank might be a strong word, but we would see downside if tomorrow the ETFs were rejected. If they're delayed, we'd probably see downside, but probably more measured than if there was a just blanket denial. And approval is what we're hoping for, and approval is what we definitely seems to be indicated by the media. But we've been deceived before, and contrarians are very profitable traders if they're doing it right. I see Crypto Billy in the chat throwing up some hearts. Love that. That's great alpha, said Crypto Billy, saying that's good alpha shroom. Handy links, absolutely. And again, you can find the links to the pro version of Look Into Bitcoin in our description. With a couple more minutes here, I want to show you guys the Fear and Greed Index. This is one, if you've been in crypto for any amount of time, you've probably seen it before. My promo bar here is blocked, but you can see Fear and Greed Index. They've also got this cool range. And each chart comes with a description, a breakdown in great detail of what these actually do. And then when you have a pro version of this, I haven't set it up yet, but you can actually overlay this onto the Bitcoin chart on TradingView. So I'm going to be getting that set up pretty quick, and that's going to be a lot of fun. But Fear and Greed Index, as you can see, it's pretty high. Pretty high into the greed, 76 out of 100 right now, according to Look Into Bitcoin. So it's pretty high. As you can see, the Fear and Greed Index kind of generally tracks the price of Bitcoin. You might recognize this pattern. So that is really exciting. It's also a time to consider, should you take profit? I think today is probably a time where you should have already made that decision, whether or not you're going to take profit. And I know I have. I've not taken profit. I've kind of doubled down on my crypto holdings, specifically, Bitcoin, especially exposed instruments. But overall, guys, it's very, very exciting time to be in crypto. And let's hear it from him just one more time, guys, because I know you want to hear the inverse indicator himself. Inverse
What are we doing
Cramer.
with these? Let's stop fooling around. If you want Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's topping out, by the way. So I'm going to say enough is enough, and ka-ching is ka-ching. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the conclusion of the lightning round.
I need to start getting crazy like that. Drop a 1 in chat if you guys want me to have royalty-free heavy metal music playing in the background of these morning streams. There's just something about that energy. I feel like I could tap into something else. I feel like I could tap into, the aliens telling me what I should invest in and bring it to you guys. No, I'm just kidding. But it does seem like that's what JIM Cramer is kind of channeling, is some kind of crazy out of this world energy. Well, guys, a lot of people claim that Bitcoin is alien energy. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Do you think that it's alien technology, alien energy, or do you think that it is man-made and it is made by some of the most intelligent men or mans, depending on what you believe? I'm seeing Drew in chat telling me that Tim in chat saying that he wants to see the heavy metal music. I love it. So we might have to go ahead and find some music to play. I'm not exactly sure how I would pull that off, but I think we can do it. I think we might be able to do it for the bros. Let's get it one more time. One more time as we end the show here. It's just too much fun. It's too much fun.
What are we doing with these? Let's stop fooling around. If you want Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's topping out, by the way. So I'm going to say
he thinks it's topping out. Well, folks, you heard it there first. Bitcoin is going to the moon. The inverse indicator himself has spoken. We are the Investing Bros, and I am so thankful for you all tuning in. Make sure if you've had some fun, if you've learned something today, consider subscribing if you're new, and absolutely smash that like video on the way out. We'll see you at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today when I go live with the TA master himself, TA Tim. We'll see you there.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms News got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.